In this video, TJ Rivers of VenturHaus shares their design and build process, why they think the Dodge Ram ProMaster is the van to get, and what to expect in terms of cost and timeline. I'm so impressed with their work, and if you're looking for a builder for this kind of a build, I highly recommend VenturHaus. This is not a sponsored video, I just believe in their work. But even if you're building your own van, I think we can all learn from their process. I like to show the range of possibilities within van builds, from using found materials to expensive professional builds and everything in between. I found that every van build has good ideas we can learn from.
Hi, I'm TJ, and welcome to VenturHaus, where we build vans. This is Caroline, one of our builders here. She also has a degree in industrial design from Virginia Tech. I graduated I graduated from MSU Denver, and we're super happy to have her. And our other employee, Hannah, also holds an industrial design degree. Something we really value is diversity and inclusion, and we're happy to have a woman on the team and a good diverse group here making things happen. I'm going to walk you all through our design process. At VenturHaus, we're industrial designers. That means we design products, everything from a cell phone to cars and trains. We're all trained to design consumer products, and we take that expertise and apply it to vans and tiny living. So we start with sketching, and we do that on the iPad. So over here you can see a sketch that was the product of a consultation with a client. We go through on the phone or via a video chat and get their ideas onto paper. From there, we can fine-tune and tweak things and make adjustments relatively quickly and at a low cost before we move into the CAD model. So over here, we have the model of this same van. However, we've gone through with the client and hashed out all of the details and changes that they desired. Through using 3D modeling software and a rendering space, we can give the client an expectation of what they are going to receive. We always give them an identical product, as close as we can get, usually to the T. We have the exact flooring straight from the manufacturer's website. This is going to be white paint with a maple countertop. We get the hardware, the table mounts, any vents that are necessary for the electrical system. We hash it all out on the computer so you have complete confidence of what you'll be buying. So I'm going to take you over to the rendering space where we take the models and make them look realistic. You can see here we have a identical model to what you just saw, but down here you can view the renderings that we sent to the client, and these will accurately show lighting, colors, so they can make sure that they like what they'll actually be getting. And we do go through and use our eye and real products to make sure that everything matches in the real world. After we've completed the 3D design and all the renderings and the client signs off on a build agreement, we begin working on their van. We usually will use materials like Marmoleum, Havelock Wool, and Baltic Birch for its superior waterproof capabilities, environmental impact, and performance in a van. We love wool. It's hydrophobic and natural. We do design our walls to breathe a little bit. We include some space for airflow to allow things to dry out. Marmoleum is another product we love. It's from the Netherlands, and it's made out of 95% natural materials. And it's a waterproof sheet material, and it's excellent. The way that it is durable, sustainable, and also natural, it gives a nice contrast to all the wood in a van. And when it comes to the Baltic Birch, that's something that can be controversial because of its weight, and we try and use thinner material when possible, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch, depending on the application, and only use as much as necessary to keep the build durable and rigid, yet still lightweight. Baltic Birch is also unique because it uses waterproof adhesives. Almost every other plywood doesn't have as high grade of adhesives or a voidless core, meaning that the veneers don't have any voids. So the interior is solid wood bonded to solid wood. It also has twice as many plies as traditional American plywood, giving it superior dimensional stability, especially if it gets saturated or is exposed to changes in temperature and humidity. From industrial design standpoint, we want to standardize our builds. We want to make them efficient. So we utilize things like CNC machines and cut lists and standardized designs for walls and flooring to expedite the build process to save our clients time and money. It also allows us to have flexibility when it comes to customization. Starting with a standardized shell and a set of standardized materials gives us a great platform to build off of. This van has a lot of customization going into it. It's the one you just saw on the computer. It's gonna have a shower, 400 amp hours of lithium, hot water, you know, everything. And when the client came to us and said, hey, I want this in a 159 ProMaster, non-extended, I was like, all right, this is gonna be kind of some Tetris. But having a platform that we knew was perfect to modify made it easy to accommodate. We're just gonna do a few little changes here and there to accommodate things like the shower pan, windows, and all of that is really easy to do using our CNC machine. Something else that we think about in a van is how does it endure through the bumps, vibrations, and temperature changes over time. Everything we put into a van is an assembly that's then bolted to the frame or the body using M6 riv nuts and bolts. This gives us a very sturdy carcass that everything's attached to and gives you peace of mind. We don't know how anything will perform in the event of an accident, but we try our best to mitigate risk. And you know, bolting to the body in hundreds of places gives us peace of mind and the client as well. We use a standardized framing system that we build outside the van for the walls and the floor inside. ProMasters actually don't have a flat floor. The floor dips about 3/16 of an inch in the center, and this can become problematic when you begin putting in straight material. If you put in a square board, that 3/16 between the bottom and the ceiling ends up looking more like a 1/4 inch. You can create some unsightly gaps and shimming down the road that you don't want to have to deal with. So we handle all of that in the floor. It takes us a few days to build a floor, but it's incredibly level. In a van, you want at least one flat surface to reference. And that's something that we think is priceless. So our floor is something we take a lot of time on to get just right, but it speeds up the rest of the build. We use the factory mounting points to bolt down 6 studs. Those 6 studs provide a very firm attachment to the vehicle's body. From there, we use a number of cross members that sit on top of these little gussets. Then there's perpendicular pieces that give support to the subfloor and allow a cavity for insulation to be installed into. Once the floor is bolted together, we'll come through with shims and shim it flat. After the floor is shimmed and leveled, we come through and sheathe it with 1/2 inch Baltic birch. That gives us a solid foundation that's not too thick but not too thin and allows us to firmly adhere things to the vehicle's base. If something's screwed to the floor, it's effectively part of the assembly that's bolted to the van's body. And this all works together with our walls to create a structure that's very rigid and safe. We'll insulate it with Havelock Wool. That's kind of standard. If someone wants a winter build, we might thicken the floor a little bit. If someone isn't so keen on insulating the floor for the sake of living in the desert, sometimes it's better to not have an insulated van. You actually want to just have the van cool off quickly. We can accommodate that as well. But our standard setup is a 1 inch floor with a 1/2 inch Baltic birch subfloor and then Marmoleum over that. The walls are going to be Also 1 inch thick to help offset it to be flush with the main columns of the body, and then 1/4 inch Baltic birch sheathed over that. The ceiling will also be 1/4 inch Baltic birch unless the customer requests something like shiplap. In the case of this van, it's going to be cedar shiplap, and that's something we're excited about. Cedar always is great in a van. You can smell it in the summertime, helps repel insects. We're back here in the shop at the CNC machine, and this is something that allows us to be very efficient and exact. When we're building things by hand, we like to think that we're excellent, but the reality is we're just humans, and every now and then we slip up by a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8, and the CNC machine is always perfect. And that's something that we love to have on our back. It's always got us, it's always making our drawers square, our cabinets tight, everything the same height. You can see here, I just cut a header for flooring in that white van you just saw. And it had a couple different depths to carve out here on the edge to accommodate some of the body work in the van. And this is a custom file that we store on our computer to allow us to expedite that process. This is just a scrap that's left over. It takes about 20 minutes to cut something like that. We're actually gonna get an upgrade for this week. We're gonna expand from 5x5 to 5x10. And we got this 220 service installed to allow us to run a 5 horsepower spindle. And that is gonna allow us to do all the wall paneling, all the furniture, everything in a van on the CNC machine, and soon offer you kits to panel your own van or ceiling, floor, all of that. We're getting it on the pipeline to get made. Look out for that soon. I started building vans in 2015. It's been about 6 years, and I've built close to 20 vans. We really ramped up production recently though, and are looking at doing roughly 10 vans a year with the new shop space. We just moved in April though, so we're still getting our gears turning, but we're really excited to have a larger team and be able to work on 2 projects at a time while still providing excellent quality and a product designer mindset. All right, so you heard all about us, and now you want a van. What's next? You should reach out to us either on our Instagram, which is at VenturHaus, VenturHaus, or you can email me, tj@venturhaus.com. When I get an email from a client inquiring about a build, the first thing is I set up an initial consultation. We'll talk either on the phone or via FaceTime, and you'll just throw your ideas at me for a half hour. I sketch it up. I put it onto paper. I turn it into something that visually communicates what you want. And with that, I'll send back a design agreement and the sketch. And if you like what you see and you're interested in moving forward, the design agreement contracts us to make a 3D model of your design that you can then use for your build. If you follow through on a build agreement, we'll put 25% of the cost of your design agreement towards the build. And that's how you get a van from VenturHaus. We also take on smaller projects. Everything from roof vent fan installations or help with your electrical, even remote consultation. If you just want help picking materials, sourcing vendors, or planning out your van, we're available to be hired at an hourly rate to help you get where you need to go. When you do start with the design agreement, we do require a deposit at that point, but there's no deposit required just for a consultation. Those are always free. We're always happy to hear your ideas and give you a proposal. We're working on developing some base packages that will save costs on our custom projects. So if you just want a cookie cutter van that's well designed, does not get between you and your outdoor experience, only makes that experience better, we're getting ready to offer those packages to consumers, turnkey, ready to go. Right now though, we're only taking custom clients. Keep your eyes on our website and our Instagram if you're interested in something more like that though. You might have a van, you might be looking for a van, you might not know which van you want to use. We mostly build ProMasters. That's our specialty. We like them because they have a low floor due to their nature of being front wheel drive. There's no drive shaft. That also means there's no step. They have an excellent turning radius. They have great interior height that accommodates most people. And the engines are widely available. Parts are in their minivans. These engines are in their SUVs or in their ProMasters. It's a great affordable option. The interior is also excellent. One thing I hear all the time with ProMasters is the clearance sucks. There's that bar between the back wheels that the leaf springs sit on. The engine, catalytic converter, muffler, all of it's crammed under the front seats. And that's true. There is two sort of low points in the van, right between the rear wheels and the front wheels. ProMasters though have exceptional clearance in the center. And I find that for most people, the clearance that matters is what's called your departure angle, approach angle, and breakover angle. And the ProMaster has an excellent breakover angle because it does not have that drive shaft. There's not a lot of content in the middle. So with a long wheelbase going over something like this, with a wheel on either side, it performs quite well. It also has a short nose and a short butt to help you get up steep hills and transitions you might encounter on dirt roads. I will say though, it's not an off-road beast. It's not a Jeep, it's not a truck, it's a van. But at the end of the day, it'll get you down most forest roads. I've driven hundreds of miles of forest roads and built out ProMasters, and it's never let me down. It's good though to know your limits and what your vehicle's capable of. And I find the ProMaster to be a great happy medium. But we'll work on anything. If you have a Transit, if you have a Sprinter, even if you have a Nissan NV, we'll do it. ProMasters are what we mostly work on, but we've built on every platform. So don't be afraid to reach out, even if that's not the van that you have or desire. If you need help finding a van, we're always happy to connect you to our network of dealers. We don't actually buy vans and sell them to customers, rather we connect you with a dealership to help you get a van that fits your needs at a great price. A big question and concern, rightfully so, a lot of people have about building a van is how much does it cost? And this is something that is specific to each and everybody's build. It's a wide range, but you can generally expect to spend anywhere from $30,000 to upwards of $100,000 on a van build, depending on the features you want, the amenities, the materials you use, and the shop rate that you're hiring. We charge a flat rate of $110 an hour, and that includes our design process and building. Most vans usually cost about $30,000 to $50,000 in labor, and then materials are additional along with the price of the vehicle. This brings most builds to a price point of around $80,000 to $100,000 out the door. That is a lot of money, and we know that, and so we take each and every build seriously and as a project that we put our hearts into. We really care about these products, and it's really special to give the keys to someone and know that that day is the day that they live the van life. It's definitely a turning point for people, and we're really happy to be a part of that. Another common question we get a lot is, how long will it take until my van's done? And the straight answer is it depends, but usually 8 to 12 weeks. Bigger projects can spill into 16. We are lucky though to have the space to work on 2 projects at a time and a diverse set of resources to help us complete them as fast as we can. I will say though, custom vans are full of unexpected challenges, and we can never guarantee the exact timeline. We'll always work hard, we'll always give you our best estimate, but we always suggest people don't plan around when their van will be completed. We're lucky to be located in beautiful Evergreen, Colorado. We're just off I-70. That's our warehouse right there. Only a short 20-25 minute drive from downtown Denver. If you're ever heading into the mountains and want to stop by, find us on Instagram or search us on Google Maps. You can always search VenturHaus and it should pop right up.
I want to thank TJ for explaining their process and showing us their shop. I'm so impressed with the knowledge and craftsmanship of VenturHaus. I love how they think through the entire design and how it will work for their customer. If you found this video helpful, please share it. And if you'd like to see more van and rig tours, van life tips, and other videos to help women get on the road, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I also want to thank you for your thoughtful comments, and if you'd like to join in deeper conversation, please join our Facebook group, Gal Adventurers. This is Joni with TheGalavan. Enjoy your journey.